Welcome to the Archie Real Estate Podcast, where we keep real estate simple for the new realtor, investor, or client. And now, your host, Muhammad Archie.
All right, what's up, my people? Welcome to the podcast. This is the Archie Real Estate Podcast. Thank you for the intro, H. By the way, you guys are probably wondering, who is this guy and what does he know about real estate? Well, my name's Muhammad Archie. I've been a licensed realtor now for 10 years, coming up in November. And the reason I'm doing this show is because I just want to give back any knowledge that I may have. If you take anything away, either if it's just one thing, I'm cool with that. Because I've learned to do just that, take away a little bit of everything from everyone that I've studied and watched. This podcast may change a little bit and may evolve off of just not only real estate, but business in general. Now, my wife and I, we actually do investments as well within real estate. So we've done multiple flips. We're actually starting to do buy and holds as well. So we're building our rental portfolio. We just want to kind of share our journey in that aspect as well, because I know, a lot of people look at real estate and think it's a sexy industry. It's a lot of work, believe it or not. You may see me in a sport coat. You may see me in a hoodie and some sweatpants. But believe me, either way, I am working. And that's just what it is. It's a 24/7 kind of business. And I think coming in, you just got to understand that. And that's what I'm kind of here to do. I just want to kind of set expectations for if you're getting into real estate, if you're looking to buy or sell or invest. I just want to be a person of knowledge to give you what I know. So with that being said, let's get into it a little bit. So what is this podcast about? Well, it's about a few things. It's going to be about motivation. So I'm going to have guest speakers on that are within the industry in one way, shape, or form. They may be a lender. They may be an investor themselves. They may have been a client that went through this journey with me. I call it a journey because it's a journey. I tell everybody that from the beginning. But my job is to try to make it a fun one. So that's really what I do on the realtor side. So yes, there'll be a lot of motivation within this podcast. A lot of it also will be about current real estate trends and what's going on within the market now. The markets that I serve, I do have a small team, and we serve Berks County, all of Berks County. We serve Philadelphia as well. Want to possibly get into Allentown, Lancaster, but we'll get there. So yeah, primarily Berks County and Philadelphia. And we do mostly realtor deals, but my team is everyone. Both of them are licensed realtors. So it's really coming together. We're just kind of getting started out, but I want to share that journey as well because it's a journey. So I want to share that process and how we go from A to B to Z. So you'll see it all. We'll discuss it all anyway. And then we'll also have tips for buyers and sellers, whether you're on the buy side, how to get a property accepted within this market. If you're selling, how to sell it at the highest dollar amount. We'll kind of be here to actually talk about that and discuss things that you can do. There's strategies, proven strategies that you can use that will help you get these things done. So it's just going to be an array of things that have to do with real estate. It's going to be real, raw, legit. I may cuss a few times. Don't be scared. Also, I want to say this as well. Whatever I say on this podcast are strictly my views. I am a licensed realtor, as I said, so I am hooked up with the brokerage. They don't know what I'm saying or what I'm talking about, and that's okay. So I'm going to speak about, my journey, and hopefully it will rub off and help others, and I'll bring others on as well that have been a part of my journey. So we'll get back to my story again. Like I said, I'll tell you a little bit more about how I got to where I'm at. So how did I get here? Well, let's see. I always thought about freedom. I don't want to say money because money doesn't always equal freedom. So I always thought about freedom, and I was like, what's an industry that could make me the amount of money that would allow me to be free? And I did my research, and I looked and checked people. I was like, this person got money. They got money. How do they have it? Everywhere that I looked and turned in the background, someone owned real estate. They always owned real estate. And I was like, okay, well, they own real estate. This is how these gazillionaires are making their money. So I was like, okay, if I can just get a little piece of that, and create the freedom that I want, I'll be happy with that. And that's why I'm in this industry. And I think that's why a lot of individuals turn to look to this industry, because it does look like a lot of freedom. You have to love what you're doing. And when you do that, it does become freedom. So I work a lot. I work hard, but it's not like work to me, especially when I get up in the morning and call my own shots. That makes it a world of difference. So I did my research and I checked industries and I was like, real estate is it. This is what I'm going to do. I set out to go get my license. I think I failed that test like 3 or 4 times, something like that. So crazy. So don't get down on yourself if you didn't pass it the first time. It's not a big deal. It's no indicator on how well you're going to do within the industry at all. So I just went and took the test. You have to pay for it every single time, but that's what it is. I put the money up. It was an investment. I was invested in myself and my future. So eventually I passed both tests. There's a state and there's a national. I think I passed the national on the first try. So yeah, I passed it on the first try, but the state took some time. So we completed that, got that done, got my license. And, I started off with a brokerage. I don't think I'm going to name any brokerages because we're going to just keep it, But I started off with a brokerage. They've been around for a while. And I was like, I did a deal there and they were a 50-50 split. So I split my ass right on out of there. I was like, I'm doing all the work. Why are you taking half of my money? So that really, we wasn't having that. And I actually knew another broker. He was local. And I kind of knew that I was going to work for him eventually. I don't know why, but I just had this inclination I was going to work for him eventually. And I did, and I learned quite a bit at that brokerage. He gave me the opportunity to run a foreclosure account. That's where I got the itch to learn investing. Because I'll tell you what, we're going crazy. We got a team doing this foreclosure account. We're walking away. We're splitting our commission checks up. And a lot of these investors are buying these properties. And they're talking about, I'm going to buy and hold this, rent this out, sell it down the road, maybe make $100,000 on it. Or they're walking away from the table with these big checks. And I'm like, wait a second, where are these checks coming from? I'm on the wrong side of the table. So I started to think about it a little bit and started to kind of learn the investing side of things and how that worked and where was the money coming from and things of that nature, which hopefully I can share some of that information with you on this podcast. So that's what really sparked my interest for investing. And so we did the foreclosure account, did that for a couple of years, went great. Moved on to different brokerages, got the opportunity to run a mentor program, which was great. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing now. It actually kind of sparked something within me to say, give back whatever you can. I know there's probably like 1 or 2 people listening right now, and that's okay. Hopefully it'll grow to 1 million, but I'm giving back whatever I can. There's a billion podcasts out there. It is what it is. But even if there is only one person listening, I hope you're listening and you're taking something away from this, as I said. So the mentor program actually allowed me to really talk and mentor new agents and give them a piece of the game. And part of the reason why I'm doing this is because I wish I had someone that gave me a little more of the game, so I'm going to give as much as I can. The information's free. That's what people don't understand. I tell people that all the time. Everybody got the same information right at their fingertips, all in front of their face. It's what you do with it and how you execute with that information. So it's not easy, but it could be very lucrative in a number of ways, and I'm not even just talking money. But like I said, that freedom is what really mattered to me. So currently, like I said, I do have a small team. It's the Archie Realty team, and we've been together for a few months now. We'll be going on a year soon, and we're just putting everything together and getting our team right and rolling. And we all love what we do. We're all very similar. And I really appreciate that. You'll probably meet them on one of these podcast episodes if I can drag them out. But it's great to form that because it's something that I always saw coming as well. It's something I always wanted to do in the back. Kind of like this podcast. I always had an idea of doing a podcast, and one day, Hamilton was like, "Hey, I'm doing this podcast." I was like, "No one better." So I was like, "Let's go do it and let's see what happens." So next, let's talk about the why. Why is a big word, especially within being an entrepreneur or being in business. You have to have a why as to why you're doing this, why you're pretty much doing everything. Because like I said, this is a tough business. It's not easy, and you have to want to do it. Because otherwise, you're going to get up in the morning, you're going to say, "Why the hell am I doing this?" So if you don't have a reason to do something, it's just not going to be in you. So my why has evolved over time, obviously. And initially, like I said, it was for freedom. That's still one of my big whys. I want to do what I want, when I want, how I want. Call me what you want. Whatever. I don't care. That's how I want to do my shit. You know what I mean? If I want to go on vacation, I'm going to go on vacation. No one's going to tell me. A matter of fact, let me give you a funny story real quick. I'm not going to name this former employer. Great company. I said if I ever have to work for a company again, which I pray I never have to, but if I ever work for a company again, this is the company I work for. And one time I was there, I had vacation days. I called them up. Hey, I'm going to Miami. I'm going from these dates to these dates. These guys decided to give me every day off for vacation day except for one in the middle. So I'm like, now wait a second. You guys know where I'm going, how I'm going there, how long I'm going to be there, and you're going to say, all right, we're going to give you off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we need you here, and then you're off Thursday and Friday. I laid on the beach that Wednesday and I contemplated, should I call in and call off sick and give them that courtesy, or, they know I'm at the beach, or I decided on the latter. I was like, they know I'm at the beach. Why are you messing with me? So I dealt with that when I got back into work. But that's what I mean by freedom. Now it's literally just, where are we going? Let's book the flight. Let's book the hotel, wherever we're staying. Let's go. I don't want to have to ask someone to do whatever I want to do. So that's a big why as to why I do this. And then I talk about it evolving. My wife and my daughter now, it's still kind of weird saying my daughter. She'll be 15 months. So that's big reasons as to why I continue to do what I do, and continue to want to do it well. You have to want to do what you want to do well. Otherwise it's like, why are we doing this? So you have to have a why. Let's talk about the podcast. Why am I doing the podcast? So like I said, I already said, I want to give back information. I want to give good, solid information. There's a lot of misinformation out there as far as buying and selling process. Also, with investing, so much misinformation out there. And I want to just give you episodes and give you as much knowledge as I have. And hopefully I gain some knowledge from this as well with my guests that do come on here. Because these guests that are going to come on are going to be all from different realms, and they're going to have just as much knowledge or more in what they're doing. So, and I just want to share that with everybody. That's the point of this podcast, is to just kind of open up the books a little bit and share a little bit of me. To be honest with you, a lot of people, they know me, but they don't know me. You know what I mean? So I want to share a little bit more of me and kind of let you know what you can expect and what you get from me. Because like I said, this is going to remain raw and unedited as much as possible. So that's how we're going to keep it. And like I said, the word why, you have to have it. If you don't have a why, you're going to feel like a hamster on a hamster wheel, just running back in circles looking for your next meal. So have a plan in place. That's another huge thing. What is your plan? Well, I get asked that quite often. I don't know why people ask me that, but they do. So I'll tell you my plan. My plan with this podcast anyway, is to grow an audience. Have as many listeners as possible. Give as much information as possible. Have as many great guests on as possible. My next guest, just a little insight as to what you can expect. My next guest will be talking about FHA loans. Those are for first-time home buyers. Very popular programs, things of that nature. So I have a lender on next month's episode, and we'll kind of discuss a little bit about that, the lending options out there, the finances. Where does the money come from for these purchases? That's another misconception that I know people have. They're like, you paid $400,000 for your house, so you got $400,000 just sitting in the bank. No, it doesn't. Doesn't work that way. Man, if it did, but it doesn't work that way. So, I mean, you have to learn your finances, and you have to learn where you need to be in order to purchase a property. And I want to do a little bit of that on this podcast, kind of prepare my audience, my listeners, if they haven't purchased one already, what do you have to do to get ready to do it? And believe me, you can purchase a house. I know you think you can't. You can purchase a house. And we'll get into that a little bit more in future podcasts. So the next few podcasts will be discussing exactly that, first-time homeowners programs and what you need to do to get into a home. My plan, I wish I could say it's to take over the world, but that's not my plan. Who wants to do that? It's too much responsibility. My plan is to continue to grow. I want to continue to grow my team. I want to continue to grow my business year in, year out. And And when I say my business, it's just real estate as a whole for me. It's the realtor side. It's the investments. It's the flips. I want to build it all. And I just want to continue to grow. And hopefully I can help others grow as well, which I'm slowly starting to do. So that's the plan. If you don't have a plan, you really need to sit down and think about, okay, what's the end goal in all this? Where do I want to be? Where do I want to end up? And then you got to sit back and say, okay, well, now how do I get there? That's the plan. That's what the plan is. All right, so there you have it. Just a little bit about myself and what you can expect with this podcast. We are going to talk more about both, obviously. I got to give you the whole story, can't leave parts out. And, like I said, we're going to get into FHA, first-time homeowners programs in the next episode. We're going to start this thing out once a month for now. And hopefully we'll pick it up from there and do more episodes. In the meantime, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can email me. I'm at marchie@archierealtor.com. My company is Archie Realty Team. My investment firm is Mace Homes. You can email me at Mace Homes. That email is the boss. I know. It's the boss at macehomesllc.com. That's that email. Because, we all bosses. Don't forget that. And, hopefully I'll see you in the next one. And like I said, if you take anything away, that's great. We're all gonna learn from each other on this podcast. Hopefully I'll see you next time. And big shout out to Hamilton Newton Companies for this production. You're gonna see it. It's pretty dope. Once again, until next time.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Archie Real Estate Podcast, and we thank you for listening. Email Archie directly at marchie@archierealtor.com with any questions. If you're ready to begin your real estate search, visit archierealtor.com. See you on the next episode.